That's completely stupid. Zipping! You wouldn't think that's complicated. All of the lights have failed. 4 arms for days.
That's a weird line to say.
If you are Susan Boyle, can you please comment below?
When commercial lighting goes wrong. Guys, this is some of the funniest lighting wiring I've ever seen. 45 amp cooker isolators, switching 3-phase lighting here. So we have been hired to rewire the lighting at this Rolls-Royce facility. We've got over 100 light fittings to chuck in. Let's roll the intro and get into it. The humble lighting circuit, it's not complicated, is it? Come out of a breaker, through some kind of switch function interrupter, whether that be a light switch or some kind of smart lighting controls, and out the light fitting. You wouldn't think that's complicated, but seemingly in this situation, let me just show you, okay? I'll put that there because people absolutely hate it when you put coffee cups on top of things. They absolutely panic and freak out, not realizing that it's empty. Haha, got ya. So the lighting circuit, it comes out of the metal trunking here, through all of these whisker boxes and out and up. It gets worse. Right above the ceiling, all of those cables are literally laying on the ceiling tiles. So in terms of protection against premature collapse and all the rest of it, there is none. All of the lights have failed. I don't know if you can see this, but there's like a horrible yellow patch in the center of all of them. So we are here to replace it. We did the ICR here a few episodes back. I'm not able to show you around all of it. I can show you this though. This is the dyno test room. And you've got like the motor test beds and everything here. So wicked facility where they build and test motors. There are over 100 lights here. All of them have failed. Question one was, when I first was contacted, why have they failed? To answer their question on why they failed, I thought I'd actually come out here and show you one of the things that I'd be talking about. So do you know what the link would be between this equipment here, and a whole load more of it around the corner? They all give off massive amounts of earth leakage. Now, on this system, there was actually amps of earth leakage we were measuring. So that is problem number one. We've got DC noise, earth leakage. The other thing is this. We're in a workshop, so there's lathes, there's equipment, which means there's voltage spikes, voltage drops, all that different thing, especially with the test equipment next door. So I think these have got, I could be wrong, happy to be wrong, happy to be proven wrong in the comments. However, my theory is that this hasn't lasted as long because of all the dirty voltage and dirty power that is here, because of the nature of the facility that's here and the nature of the electrical installation. Now the other thing that I think has caused the issue is this. These light fittings are basically a horrible cheap light fitting, which is where they have the LED tape around the outside. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's like a reflector in the middle. And as I push it, it'll actually make it a bit better. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the colour is literally changing as I push it. They're just really cheap light fittings. So we're going to replace all of them and rewire it in such a way that is professionally done and safe. Now, the cooker isolators, let me go into those. Right, so the cooker isolators are here. A normal light switch will actually only switch usually up to about 10 amps. What that means is it's not like it's going to trip at 10 amps. It means it will only physically isolate up to 10 amps. So if you have 25 amps on a lighting circuit, it will just burn that light switch out and it won't switch on or off. Whether it breaks and fuses on or breaks and fuses off, it won't work. They've obviously gone through a few switches and realised, oh, 45 amp cooker isolator, that will handle the load of switching. Yeah, it will, that's right. However, that is a completely silly way of doing it. There's much simpler ways, and that's what we're going to be diving into today as we rewire this beautiful test facility with you. Right, so how we're going to be rewiring it is with these. So we've been given a very specific design brief. Because this is an R&D facility, it's not down to you to decide how you want the lighting to be. They'll give you a very specific brief of luminosity, lux, and colour temperature and everything that it needs to be. So that has been designed and worked out for us, and we are using some beautiful JCC light fittings. I'll show you them. This is the JCC Sky Tile. So we've opted for this because it's perfectly met the client's requirements. Also, it needed to be low glare, it needed to be different colour temperatures in different rooms. So I can select between 3, 4 and 5.7 thousand kelvins, which is perfect. And also they're just super fast to wire up. Like you can see, they're pretty much the same style of driver as what you have on the JCC V50s, so they should go up really fast. So let's get into it. Right, so we're going to be wiring it using this white LSF ZH 3-core and earth Doncaster cable. So we're going to be running that through these. So these are contactors. We're going to be coming out of the board, over into our contactor enclosure, out of the contactor enclosure, along this existing tray, all the way over to Chester. Say hi, Chester.
Howdy.
All the way along. So we're coming off the tray inside of Copex into these click boxes, and then basically the lights wire onto these plugs, colloquially are known as click plugs, and the click plugs literally just will clip into there. We've already finished upstairs and the offices, which obviously we're not able to film, but I can show you now roughly what that looks like. Let's get on. Chester.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, it's so well today.
What time did you get here yesterday?
Yesterday was different to today. Yesterday was a little later than today. Yesterday was
a little later.
Maybe 9:30, maybe.
A little later. So we've got a company policy now, which applies to me as well, but if you're late, then you basically have to write a song to apologise and express the reasons why you're late, because we feel that it just kind of fits, doesn't it? So, do you mind if we share your admission?
No. If you do that, then I'll...
Forgiveness. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to say, but I'm sorry. And to that I say thank you.
We're going to bring all of our light fittings on flexes into these click plugs. Easy peasy.
Nice one. Let's go see what Felix is doing. Ah, Mr. Felix from FS Electrical. How are you doing today?
Hello. Yeah, we're all good. Just
what are you doing?
Getting in these all the switch wires and the feeds for the click boxes that we've got up here. So going back to the board, back to the contactor.
Brilliant. This is really annoying, right? We've just got to a nice little stage in the job, haven't we? We've got all of these boxes in.
We're having so much fun.
We're having so much fun. And the client has come along, and completely fair enough to him, in all honesty, he's said that this tray is actually going to be potentially removed in the future. Maybe not for a few years, but the lighting install is meant to be here for the long haul. So he's asked if we can take it off of the tray. So Chester, do you want to have the honours? All right, a bit less aggression next time, yeah? So now we've basically got to pull all of our cabling out that we've just finished and start again. Oh, the joys. It's a good job I don't even find this demoralising or sad. In the original job spec that we quoted off, we were told to use the tray. What do you do in these situations when the job changes midway through? Do you increase your price for doing the job twice, or do you just kind of take it on the chin? Let me know in the comments below. Right, well, one of the lads are running those circuits in for the second time now. I'm going to start investigating and see what's possible to do on this side of it, on the main side. So all the cables here, I'm going to hop over, I'm going to have to fix them into there with some purling clamps. We'll come into the top of that tray. The neutrals and earth will just go down straight into their respective circuit, and then the switch line will basically run in and out of some contactors along and down, and then also we need some separate fishtail keys for the emergency light testing. Ooh. Sometimes you just feel like a busy fool. You're permanently always busy, and then you feel like you've just got nothing to show for it because you're not getting anywhere, you're just still busy all the time. Before I went self-employed, I used to have hobbies. It's the side of self-employment that no one talks about. It is blimmin' hard work. I'm owed money from like 3 months ago, whereas I pay anyone that works for me, I try and pay at the end of the week. If you're out there, you're self-employed and you're struggling, you're not alone. Look after yourself. Right, crying over. Let's go down and wire it. Whoa. Right, we're back downstairs again. I'm gonna bring the cables through these holes here. These are the existing lighting. See if I can get them through there. All right, well, that cable's not going through that hole there, so I'm not really sure what the options are there. Oh, this is a pig. I'm just wasting so much time. No two ways about it. Just gotta unwire it, so. Alrighty then. Got all the cables through, then I can feed them down here. Oh yeah. There we go. Skip it a bush. Sick. Ready to second fix. Right, Chester, should I have a quick update? Lost your mind yet? No, well, I've got a kit in my van. If you use that one, you're probably gonna have to feel some kind of accident log. So you cut yourself there and there's a kit right here. That's all right, here, let's do it. First things first, should use some hand sanitizer. My hands are a little bit, do you think my hands are clean enough to?
It's a nightmare when it's on the end of your finger. When you put a plaster on, they're not designed to fit. so they just fall off and...
How are you getting on, Felix?
I'm good.
What are you doing? You're wiring the nice LDU. Oh yeah. With the cable hidden, obviously, what absolute cowboy monkey would run them on a tray?
Not me. Don't you dare look at me.
What?
Big tails.
Well done, mate. I'm happy for you.
All right, so it's late in the evening. As you can see, all the machines have stopped and everyone else has gone home. I think what we're going to need to do to get this finishing time is a quick character change, if we don't mind.
Oh,
That looked cooler than it felt.
Yeah, that looked cooler than however you felt it looked cool. Good to see you, mate.
Good to see you too.
Come tag in, join Chester. All right, so it's a new day and a new attitude and a new approach on life. And I'll tell you something, Chester and James is quite something to behold. I know this isn't really electrical related, but I feel like you just need to watch them for a minute. Let's have a little section of Chester and James.
I'd say it's all about the onion bhajis, personally.
I would say the naans are better.
What's the one with the meat in? Moon landings. I believe in them.
Do you?
I do.
Do you guys believe in the pyramids?
We didn't conclude the conversation as to what the shape of a Toblerone box is.
We found out it's a prism.
James
Actually a prism.
says it's a prism, but I'm not 100% sure it is a prism.
Okay, now we have the exciting bit. We're going to be fitting the contactors, and I'm going to show you exactly what contactors are, why we use them, and yeah, how to actually install them. So I'm going to put that enclosure just up here, out of the way. That drill is an absolute animal. It's M12. If you're wondering if M12 is worth it, I'm telling you, how light that is, the fact that it can literally fit in my pocket, worth every single penny and more. I should probably use a vice. This is a wrist breaker.
Yeah, I don't like the
Try not to break my wrist, break my wrist, break my wrist. Hope I get away with it. Oh-de-doo-da-day.
There we go. Wrists still intact, baby. Oh yeah. Forearms for days.
Ooh, this boy don't need a wristwatch. Honestly, the rate that these bad boys are growing at, I'm gonna need a grandfather clock on these things.
Enclosure is all mounted up, just there, like a show. So now the job is to strip all of these cables and start routing them through. Now, once they're all stripped and routed through, I will actually show you how I'm wiring it so I can kind of talk you through it step by step. It's easy. There's me worrying about like microplastics and things in my food while I constantly have a Sharpie or a screwdriver in my mouth. The other day I put the Sharpie in the wrong way round. Up and I had black drawings all over my mouth. Alrighty then, we're ready to wire this thing up. Look how cool this is, you ready? I had one of these before and I absolutely loved it, and I kind of overestimated my relationship with Klein. I was working in Norway. The guy there was like, oh, I love that screwdriver.
I did enjoy it. This feels very good, actually, yeah.
You like it?
I enjoy it very much.
If you buy me a beer later, you can keep that. How does that sound?
Good deal.
I was like, oh mate, take it, it's fine. I was thinking I'll get another one for free. I'm cheeky. I didn't get another one for free. I did now, but this is like 2 years later. So thanks for sending this to me, Klein. I'm a massive cheapskate. I had it in my Amazon basket. I was literally about to order it, and they actually got in touch with me and said, oh, is there anything you'd like to test out and try? I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind testing one of these bad boys out. What you really don't want to do is when you've got these earth wires, I've had it before where I've had one resting on my hands and then it's touched a live breaker and it's like enshrined itself around my skin and gave me a shock. That was a long time ago. I've actually not had a shock in years. Weirdly, since I've got older, and since I think as well, since I've worked in environments where there are actually much higher risks, I take less chances. I know I'm saying this in front of a live board, but yeah, obviously I'm going to be very careful. I'm not going to wire it up live. All right, mate, what do you want?
I want some insulation tape, that's what I want.
I haven't got any insulation tape.
He's giving me this is the next best thing. How secure is this?
Secure like a guy with man boobs that goes to the beach with no t-shirt.
I feel like you could do the like what Freddie Mercury's microphone sees with this setup. I'm gonna have myself a real good time. Nice.
Okay. Anyway, meanwhile, I'm going to be getting these contactors on, so I'm actually going to show you these now. So these right here are contactors, okay? So the reason why you would use these traditionally is if you want to switch a larger load than what a traditional double pole switch or light switch can actually handle. So in this situation, we want to switch more than 10 amps worth of lighting. A normal light switch is only able to handle one phase at a time and only up to 10 amps traditionally, whereas this, it's basically a bunch of contacts. When operated, what it will do is it will close those contacts, basically closing the gap between all the different terminals there. So see between 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Say you've got multiple lighting loads across here, you could have L1, L2, L3. You could have one light switch connected up to A1 and A2, and that will operate that and close it off. So you could, in theory, depend on the size of your contactor. Obviously this is a 25 amp contactor because it's just lighting. You could have a couple of 100 amp contactor if you wanted, and it can still work off of that little switch, off of that little relay trigger. So that's basically how it works. Very, very simple. What we're going to be doing is housing them in here. So just clip them on like so, and then I'm going to put all of the loads in so they're connected up. You can see I've labelled the cables D1, 2 and 3, and then we have U1, 2 and 3. So the 3 upstairs lighting circuits and the 3 downstairs lighting circuits, they'll be going into the bottom. So you'll be having feed out, feed out, feed out, feed out, feed out, feed out. And then in the top there, you're going to be having feed in, feed in, feed in for all the relative circuits, basically. Now, because we have lathes and machinery, there's something you have to watch out for, and that's called the stroboscopic effect. So it doesn't really happen with LEDs now so much, but in the olden days, I say the olden days, probably only like 10 years ago really, you had the risk of lights strobing in frequency, in sequence with the machines that were running. And that's called the stroboscopic effect. So you can imagine that's dangerous, because if you have a blade spinning and you're trying to, and the lights are flashing in sync with that, you're not going to see that blade spinning. So you're going to try and put a drill bit in and it's going to blow your arm off. What you'd want to do to overcome that is basically lay them out in such a way that your phases are out of sync to the machine. So you might have L1, L2, L3, for example, so that you've got the light crossing over from the different phases, so that if there was flashing in series, it's not going to be in series with the motor turning, basically. So even though we're using LED fittings, we're still going to just keep that in mind and do that here because it's good practice. Anyway, while I'm doing this, why don't you go check on James?
So I'm just putting these drivers on these cables. I really like these ones. They're color coded. They've got an easy to open lid. You can go like that, close it back up. They're nice and clear, so you can see if there's any copper showing.
Chester, what are you doing?
I'm just about to mount a switch for the contactor and the lights.
Would you like to have a real drill?
I do love my D-Walt.
Come on, try it.
This is your channel.
Try it and tell me what you think.
Whoa, that's pretty powerful.
It's powerful, isn't it?
That's mini. 6 amp hour. That's impressive. That's tiny. Sorry,
Yeah, do a little
D-Walt.
side by side.
There we go. It is. They're more ergonomic than I remember them being. Let's give this puppy a try. Noise. Wow. I do like how light that is. That's very easy when you've got the two-handed job. And I can jam to Natasha Bedingfield at the same time. Living life with eyes wide open. I have a little issue.
What?
How come Milwaukee, the advertisement, is on the left-hand side when people are primarily right-hand sided?
See, I'm left-handed. You would think that they wouldn't revolve a whole brand around me, but
They clearly have. I dreamed a dream of times gone by.
who is it? That is Susan Boyle.
She follow you?
Does she follow me?
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Susan,
Crazy.
if you are Susan Boyle, can you please comment below so I know?
That'd be mad.
Well, I tell you one thing. What was a small world? I had, this is not just like all the people that I've had a crush on in the time of having a channel, but I did
Susan
have
Boyle, Amanda Seyfried.
I was convinced that one day I would have married Ellie Rousel from Wolf Alice. I decided, as a joke, I'd say, oh, you know, and if Ellie Roswell, I can't even say her name, shows how close we are, we're on first name basis. I was like, if you're watching this, then, you know, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Her band man, no, her stage setup guy.
No way.
I got a message.
Yeah.
It was during COVID, but she's like, as soon as COVID's over, why don't you come on a gig? I probably could get you backstage to meet. And I was like, I'm not ready for this.
What happened? What happened?
I thought before I should meet her, I should be in the best shape of my life. I need to join the gym, and I just wasn't ready for that. So
and then you got
it never went anywhere. I think that's why she's wrote so many heartbreak songs. I think she was disappointed. That wasn't her band manager, stage manager guy at all. That was actually her. Oh yeah, I could probably set you both up. She was a big Oi Electrical fan. Sorry, Ellie. I'm taken now. Too late. All right, this is all wired up, the contactor. I'm gonna show you that up close. What we've done is we've got all the cables pulled through, taped up so that they're safe, and then they're in there ready to wire up when we can do our shutdown. Because at the minute, the idea was originally we're gonna liven up both the old lights and the new lights so that they have light, and then decommission the old lights. But we've not really been able to do that because, yeah, it's just not safe to do it. So instead we're gonna leave the cables there. Right, do you wanna get that cover on? And I'm gonna show them these contactors. Right, so how it works basically is you've got your feeds coming in the top and then the loads going out the bottom. So I don't know if you can see that, but I've just labelled the cables D1 to 3 and U1 to 4 for the various circuits throughout, and then you've got your control circuit going over to there. So what we're gonna have to do is come back on a Saturday. So Chester, do you wanna say goodbye?
Over and out, oinks.
All right, welcome back to today, where we've got a super hectic one. So we're doing a changeover, but we've not been able to get in here out of hours. So basically we've got to do it while they're in. So we've got a 15-minute break. We're leaving their old lights in and we're putting the new ones next to it. Chester, how do you find the JCC drivers?
Love them. I do love them. I've tried a few lights in my time, but JCC for the win.
What are the ones we had to use upstairs?
Can we say?
I don't know if we can say the brand.
Do you want to name and shame?
Another brand that rhymes with...
They rhyme with Benji Key.
And how were they?
Terrible. I hate them. I've tried a few of their fittings in my time, and I think they look nice aesthetically, but they are not designed to install.
While Chester is getting those lights up and ready, I've got a short window to get this ready. So as you saw last time, we got the contactors in, wired up and ready. Now this is ready to go. So what I'm going to do is just check that no one's in the bathroom before I switch the power off. Okay, no one's in the bathroom. Switch off workshop lights and bathroom lights. Workshop lights can just be removed from the board. Oh, this board is absolutely awful to work on. I've labelled up the circuit and I've tagged it to make it a lot easier and quicker on the actual changeover. We're ripping some circuits out of this board soon because a lot of this is all moving around. I'm just going to get it in, leave all of the slack here up inside of the trunking, and then basically when we take these circuits out, it is killing my OCD, this board. It is an absolute rat's nest of cables. I'm just going to rip as much of this out as possible and put it back in again neater. Right, I'm going to get this all wired in. In the meantime, why don't you go check on Chester?
Hey, welcome back. So we're just taking out the old lights. After we get these ones connected, we're going to come through and remove all the old drivers, all the old cabling. This is so poor. This is how they're all carrying across the ceiling. So that got picked up on our EICR in the first place because cables are not supported properly. We're putting in these beautiful JCCs. This. Ta-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it.
It's getting brighter. Every light that goes up. What I'm doing is chopping all of this old crap out. One, because these Wager boxes can definitely be reused. And two, because if we chop these out, it makes it a lot easier to pull all of the wiring out when they're not jointed onto things. And I would like to remove all of the wiring just because I hate having old dead cables above ceilings when you can help it.
There's something about this place that flares up my gammy eye. I never had a gammy eye before, but since working here, I've now got a white head on it, a spot on my eyelid, which is ridiculous. It's so painful. What we're doing here is altering the cable routing system, because this was their old control of all of the lighting. There's all these old cooker switches. We're getting rid of them, but we still need to refeed these lights up here. So the plan is to come off of the lights next door. We're going to reroute some conduit through and then try and make this look a bit prettier, which is going to be difficult, but we will do our best. No, I don't want to.
Why don't you want to come in here?
It smells terrible.
I'm so sorry. I think I'm just a gassy person. Well, this looks absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Chester. Wow.
Go on, what are you thinking?
Just... is it a bit off? I reckon it's the door frame. I don't think it's your work.
Surely it wouldn't be my work.
No, yours is. Ah, there we go. Door frame's off. I told you. I didn't doubt him for a second. That looks really nice. Yeah, so now we can bin all of these off. I've got an idea now, you know. I've been thinking about it, about the labour shortage that I'm suffering at the minute. So we've got an admin now, which is really nice. We've got our editor, the camera lady, and Chester. So there's a lovely little team of 4 of us. 4 little oinkers, and I love it. But I've got an idea how I can get workers I'm going to adopt. Because everyone says having children is expensive. I thought about it. I thought maybe I should just have kids, because then they can work for me.
Yeah.
But then you've got like 16, 17 years of them being useless. Like as a baby, it's like, oh, you're just needy.
Yeah. Do what Sandra Bullock did.
What did she do?
Blindside. That's what she did, wasn't it?
I'm going to watch it again and get motivation. What, so she hired a slave force of adopted children?
I don't think she purposely did, but it conveniently worked out for them.
Right, okay.
She's a football player.
Because what I'm thinking is, if I can go somewhere where there's a bunch of 17, 18-year-olds that need adopting, the only thing is it's a bit weird for them to start calling me dad and boss at the same time. Basically, the idea is I'm going to hire a load of 18 to 20-year-olds. Don't technically have to pay them because they're just working in the family business and they're going to come and work for me. So keep an eye out. If you're an adult orphanage, if that exists, we're coming for you. We need you. Chester, what are you doing? Oh, what are you doing?
It's so painful.
That is disgusting. And you're going to pop it on the camera. Someone could be watching this with 3D goggles and... Oh, do you want me to pop it for you?
You wouldn't.
I'd just wash my hands, I would. I just need one hand.
Be quick.
Oh, sorry, this is spider's web.
Oh, what the hell? You said you had clean hands and you pull out a spider's web.
Just don't flinch.
Oh, it's so much.
That explains why your conduit was wonky and I blamed it on the door frame. I've got a solution for you, just... There you go, much better.
So much better now.
Now no one needs to look at it. We made it. We did the shutdown, we switched it all over, and we did it in the time that we needed to. So all the lights are actually in, and they are so much better. Like, everyone's been commenting, like, oh, I can actually see. Part of that as well has been jigging them around. All we need to do now is go around and drill the actual emergency indicator lights in. And Chester is up here with his gammy eye.
This is for the safety of the viewers.
He's up there doing the last click plug. I'd say it's going quite well, wouldn't you?
Oh, I'd say it's going quite well, would you?
I would say it's going quite well. Now I just need to take this out. This is one of the last cables that disconnected. Oh, it is just getting snagged on everything. I hate to sound like my YouTube friend on another channel, but flippin' heck. Do I need a holiday? I might just go down the artisan route and do holiday all the time. That's just a cheeky one to make sure Jordan still watches this channel and see if he takes the bait. He knows I love him. Right, now that it's a bit emptier, I'm gonna be able to switch off some more things and tidy up this board a little bit. So there we have it, over 120 light fittings that have been swapped inside of this building now. Sadly, we've only been able to show you this section of it, but it's been awesome. We've had everything in this video, from business updates, we've had some things said that probably shouldn't have been said. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.